First up, we have the Audi e-tron Quattro. They're a fairly attractive crossover SUV. It has a 95 kilowatt hour battery and supports 150 kilowatt charging, so it sounds pretty promising. Next up is the very popular Tesla booth. They have an SX3 Powerwall and a few solar roof tiles, but no Roadster, so that's a bummer. The Teslas start at $46,000 for a Model 3 with 260 miles of range, which you can option up to over 300 miles, and you can add another $100,000 for the biggest, baddest X. The VW Buzz Cargo is the business-focused version of their future electric microbus. They're saying it may have a 48 kilowatt hour to 110 kilowatt hour battery, which should make for a fairly inexpensive version. It's still a ways off at 2022, but I think Volkswagen is sitting on a potential gold mine with this one. The Hyundai Le Fil Rouge concept is far from a production car, and it's not even necessarily electric, but it definitely looks like it could be, and I could see some ideas making it into a future electric vehicle. And the interior is just absolutely stunning. Next up is the Chevy Bolt. It has around 240 miles of range for a reasonable price, and the hatchback makes it a very versatile car. It's interesting to see how much emphasis different manufacturers are placing on their EVs. Chevy is kind of towards the middle. They aren't hiding the Bolt in a corner, but it's not really a centerpiece either. Speaking of manufacturers who don't seem to care about EVs, Mercedes has their Smart EQ42 stuck back in a corner. While it only has a 30 kilowatt hour battery, you can get an optional 22 kilowatt charger for it. So you could fully charge the car in an hour and a half without needing a DC fast charger. So that's pretty cool. No real changes to the Fiat 500e. It's still priced way too high for what it is at $33,000. But I have seen some ridiculously cheap leases on these. If it can fit your needs for size and range, you can get these things for less than $100 a month sometimes. Next up is Rivian, which seems to be the electric vehicle star of the show. This booth is absolutely mobbed with people. And I've got to say, I wasn't a fan of the front end design on these from the pictures, but it really looks a lot better in person. They say the starting price at $70,000 is for a 105 kilowatt hour model with 240 miles of range, and they haven't released prices for the higher versions, which can go up to 180 kilowatt hours and 400 miles of range. Most features are standard with all battery sizes, so that's cool. The pass-through storage behind the rear seats and the powered bed cover on the truck are really nice touches, and the front trunks on both are absolutely huge. I mean, they have a full cooler in these. In line with their focus on adventure, Rivian plans to install their own chargers at national parks and other areas which likely won't be served by other EV companies. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. The Kia Niro EV looks like a nice new offering from Kia. It's a decent looking small crossover with 240 miles of range, and it should be a good value. To get your two-wheel fix without having to stand the whole time like on a scooter, the Erb E looks pretty cool. Starts at $1,100 and goes up to the 2000s, but it's foldable and looks like it could be pretty compact. You could fit it in a trunk. So here's an interesting option. Say you have a C7 Corvette and an extra $750,000. What would you do with it? Buy a mansion? Buy 3 Founders Edition Tesla Roadsters for you and your friends? Nah, you should definitely convert your Corvette to electric with a 61 kilowatt hour battery and 175 miles of range. I don't think this is for me, but I do congratulate Genovation on their commitment and optimism. Here we have Galpin Autos customized Jaguar I-Pace. Check out our test drive video for more details on the I-Pace, but overall, it's a really nice car with 240 miles of range for around $70,000. Finally, we have the Byton M-Byte and K-Byte. They were offering rides in the M-Byte, but their demo was charging when we were there, so no luck. Both cars are attractive and have a lot of potential. The interior is definitely futuristic, including the health stats on the screen, which was pretty interesting. This is a company to keep an eye on in the future, since China is making a big push towards EVs while the US is pulling back. That's about it for the auto show. If you want to check out our other videos, like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, leave your video request in the comments.